What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be going over the Titan Submersible. And just so you know, this is going to talk about kind of the physics, the science behind it. I am a science channel. I don't have any opinions really on this. It was a very tragic event, but let's get into it. So on June 18th, 2023, the Titan Submersible, owned by OceanGate, which is the company that owned Titan, was on a dive to the Titanic wreck site when it suffered an internal explosion, which killed all passengers on board. Here's the victims. We had this guy, he's 77, Stockton Rush, 61. The DeWood family, right here. The dad was, I believe that's the dad, 48, and then the son is 19. Then you have Harding, which was 58. So to understand what really happened on Titan, you have to understand the difference between an implosion and an explosion. An explosion forces energy out. So it's going to shoot energy out. But an implosion is when energy collapses in on itself. And therefore, the mass of this ship, when it imploded, expelled onto itself. So we also need to understand water pressure versus normal pressure. When you're underneath the ocean, you have the weight of the ocean going down on you, and that's going to be called, why we say water pressure, because the weight of the water is getting forced down on you. So the Titan Submersible most likely exploded at 4,000 meters. I could be wrong. This video is made only a week or so after the confirmed implosion was stated by the news. So don't quote me on it, but they say 4,000 meters was about where it imploded. The pressure there was 400 atmospheres, and an atmosphere just says, okay, how many atmospheres, our atmosphere, how many, the weight of the atmosphere that is going onto your body, how much of that is at 4,000 meters below the surface or below sea level? Well, if we convert 1 atmosphere to PSI, pounds of pressure per square inch, it's 14.69. But when we get to 400 atmospheres, it's 5,878 PSI. Just think about all that pressure just getting slammed on you. Think about 400 atmospheres. Make the atmosphere 400 times thick than it is and more dense. You're going to have that amount of pressure. And it's just ridiculous. So what does this mean? What does that water pressure mean? Well, if we do some complicated math, this wasn't my math, but I've heard this not only through rumor, but through articles on countless sources. They say that the implosion crinkled the submersible down to the size of a baseball. So all that pressure, the 5,700-ish PSI being forced onto that Titan in a split second within 10 milliseconds, shrinked it down to the size, or from the size of 22 feet long to 9 feet wide, down to 9 inches in circumference. That is just absolutely crazy to think about. Imagine, hold out your hand right now and act like you're holding a baseball. Now imagine a submarine the size of Titan. I assume you've seen pictures. Let me just go back. I'll show you this thing here. Imagine that being compressed down to the size of a baseball. That's what happened. So the people most likely died very peacefully. This is kind of a thing I have to touch on. It is a little sad knowing that, they had no idea they were going to go down there to die, but the fact that it happened in 10 milliseconds down to the size of a baseball would have evaporated the bodies. No doubt about it. The amount of pressure and force on the body would have just imploded it, gone, done. It's just absolutely tragic. But the good thing is, something that you need to know is the human body receives pain in about 100 milliseconds. And like I said, this compression that imploded them happened in only 10 milliseconds. So it is concluded through the simple math that the passengers felt nothing, nor did they even realize that it happened. And that's the end of this video. It's so important that we learn from these things. When you try to cut corners and think, I know I said I wasn't having an opinion, but I kind of do. If you're going to cut corners, you have to understand the risk. And The guy of OceanGate, he understood the risk. There's a theory out there right now that a screw installed into the carbon fiber caused it, which is possible. I wouldn't count on it, and then definitely or the size of a screw. I mean, it does make sense. I don't know how it makes sense. I'm not really good with physics. I'm more of a biologist, but I just thought I'd touch on the whole subject and inform you kind of like the scale and what happened and the math behind it, the science behind it, because it's good to understand that side of the tragedy, just not, oh, it imploded and they all died. No, you need to know that they suffered peaceful deaths, quote unquote. I mean, it's tragic nonetheless, but they had a peaceful passing. They didn't feel anything. They didn't hurt. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hope you learned something. If you did, please like, subscribe, anything to support. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.